God.
And we're live.
And we're live.
Good evening,
All right.
everybody.
All right, everybody. Let me, we're going to get ahead and get started here in a minute. Let me grab the link from the live. And so, guys, talk to me about your New Year's while I get this link.
New Year's was great. Twilight Zone always does the right thing for me. But I will tell you, the last couple of days since New Year's and even yesterday, it was warm. It was very warm. It was 56, almost 60 degrees on my temperature. Today is a cold that if you were homeless or had to be outside will kill you.
Exactly.
It's that kind of cold. It will kill you.
This is that cold that hits the bone right here. Like,
yes, this is a different type of cold.
For real.
Bro, so. I don't miss that cold, man. I sent the link. Oh wait, hold on. Let me put it on Twitter real quick. Yeah, man, I don't miss that cold, bro. I know.
I'm sure you don't, man. It's bad. Tonight is bad. I usually don't cry about the cold. Tonight, yeah.
Yo, it's funny you said that though. I was thinking that like an hour ago. I was actually trying to take a little nap because I feel something coming on or whatever. So I was just sitting there and I started getting kind of like the chills. But I was wondering, I was like, is my window cracked a little bit? But you know how like sometimes you be mad cold, you don't even want to move, you like whatever. But I was sitting there, I said, yo, right now, this that type of cold. If you homeless, you have to figure it out because
you got
no way. There's no way.
That's
good.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just, I mean, I hate to rub it in and stuff, but I have my window open.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, what is it, like 70, 75 there, I think?
Yeah, today during the day, it was 81 during the day.
No, that's crazy.
Bro, it was 81.
Yeah, that's what my girl's mother was saying, that it was like around 80 in the daytime, 70.
She's in Florida?
Yeah, she's in Jacksonville.
Oh, that's not too far away.
No. You're like by Orlando, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You're not like in the city of Orlando, right?
I'm not. I'm in the sticks. I'm northwest.
You're like Sanford, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm like 15 minutes straight west from Sanford. If you're at Sanford, you just take that main road.
Yeah. Right into
the and that's where I'm at. You go.
I'll tell you a funny story about me, right? One of those funny things that you know, like you ask something that nobody knows about me. So when I was a kid, right, my grandmother lived in Florida. She lived in Kissimmee, and she was remarried and everything else. And we went. The first time I went to her house, she lived in a nudist colony.
No.
Yo, I found a couple out there too. That's so crazy.
They're all over the place, but she lived in a nudist colony.
Bro.
And you know, she covered up while we were there, her and her husband. But when we went to the pool, everybody was nude.
Yep.
I must have been 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. I remember, but yo, it was
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I found one out there on Humble because I was like going to some job interview, and I guess this community, it was off of a main road, and the way a lot of like communities or subdivisions are is like you just turn off the main road. And sometimes they're gated, but they're not really gated. It's like a wooden type of thing, but it's open. And I remember I went in there just to bust a Yui, and it was no sign saying nothing. And I drove in there. I was like, yo, what the hell is going on right now? Like,
all the women wear like these things around their belly button, like around their stomach, like these chains almost. And it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. And it wasn't just old people. It was a lot of young people too. It was very crazy.
Bro, I down south when I moved to South Florida, I was in Fort Lauderdale, and we had to place infrastructure, whatever, right? We had to go up on. I mean, I think everybody knows kind of like what I do, or you know, the industry I'm in, but whatever. I had to go and place cables through easements in Fort Lauderdale, right off the beach, and I'm there working. We're in a group, you know, there's a few of us. And I'm working with a guy named Maurice and Maurice says, hey, I want you to get this next pole, right? We going pole to pole. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go in and it looks like a hotel, but it was a nudist colony. And so I go up in there and I see it was mostly dudes, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm up high. So I'm like, what is that? And Maurice comes over and he's like, how you like the view? I was like, yo, you got me. And so he was like, look, man, there's another pole that's still in their property. And he was like, yo, I'm not gonna do you like that, man. I'll go ahead and do that one too. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I see him walking and he was like, look, that's even worse because you gotta like walk deep inside of it. So he's walking through there. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? You know, like this is crazy. And sure enough, one dude starts talking to him, right? You know, I'm like, oh man. So whatever, he briefly spoke to him, he starts doing what he has to do. And that same dude moves his chair where he was at, moves his chair to be right next to him. And he just like, yo, and he's just watching him like this, bro. I'm like, these cats is wilding, bro. What's happening?
When you lived in Fort Lauderdale, was the Blockbuster arcade still open?
No, Blockbuster arcade.
Yeah,
nah,
it was
I don't know
a very
about that.
big arcade. It was around in the early '90s because Blockbuster started in Florida.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I used to live down there, that was like we used to go there like every weekend.
Yeah, I didn't know. So all right, let's get ahead and get started. Let's get started here. Everything's set up. What's up, chat? Go ahead. We are cats out the bag. We're gonna be well, I guess Strange and Eddie, they're gonna be interviewing me. Yes. You know, it seems like I don't know. They were like, yo, you gotta jump on the hot seat. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So by the end of this video, we're gonna discover I guess a little bit more about me, big collectibles. What am I all about? I guess, you know, I mean, you guys pretty much know everything about me pretty much, but maybe there's something I could surprise you with. I don't know. I could juggle or something, you know? Yeah. So, all right, so going to Discord, we chop it up, talk all things collectible related, sport cards and everything. Thanks to John G. We're going to go ahead and have a giveaway. I don't want to ruin it, but that's going to hopefully happen here soon. And if you like free stuff, subscribe and join the Discord, because in the Discord, we always, that's where I'm going to go ahead and probably ask you to answer the question. So, and then this Friday is probably going to be the Walt Disney Big Collectibles NFT. I'm going to probably give one away this Friday, you know, if everything lines up right. So that's my intro, man. So, I hand it off to you guys. We didn't even, by the way, this is completely unrehearsed. I have no idea, like, what, you know, what's going to happen. I don't even know, you know, I have a general idea from the other interviews what we're going to ask, but let's see where we're going with this.
We'll see where it goes, man. I mean, I'm going to ask your infamous question. Where did your parents grow up?
Oh,
trying to get the Joe mannerisms. You'd be like,
yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot. I figured since, you know,
yes. We don't know. Right. Let's go.
The fire card of the day is going to be a Joe DiMaggio autograph card. This right here is Beckett, grade 9. It's I figured, you know, just
very beautiful.
I had to go with a Yankee. So that's today's hotness card of the day. So okay. So my parents, my father was born in Spanish Harlem. As a matter of fact,
parents is easy. You be hitting us with grandparents. Parents is too easy. Grandparents.
Okay. Grandparents.
Now you get to see how hard these are.
Man, I'm like, whoa, okay, grandparents. Man. Okay, by the way, I want to interview my mom and my dad separately. They're down to do it. Hopefully in the next week or two, we're going to have them on the hot seat too. So I hope I'm right, because when I interview them, they're probably going to correct me if I'm wrong. So on my mom's side, they were both born in Puerto Rico. And then on my dad's side, oh man, okay, I remember my grandfather was born in Puerto Rico, but my grandmother, my father's mother, was born in Dominican Republic. So she's Dominican.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not full Puerto Rican.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't even know until she passed away. I didn't even know. And then my father had her birth certificate, and I was like, it came up, and I was like, wait, what? What is that? And he was like, yeah. She's Dominican. I was like, oh, wow. Damn. And yeah, so that's something I didn't know until maybe 10 years ago.
That's cool. That's cooler.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, man, it's a crazy story. And then both my parents. No, I'm sorry. My mom was born in Puerto Rico, in a small town called Guayama. I don't know what towns my grandparents were born in. I have no idea. And my father was born in Spanish Harlem. The only thing, going back to my grandparents, the only thing I know was that they, on my father's side, they worked sugarcane fields, and that's how they made a living. They worked on sugarcane fields.
That was one of the main things coming out of the islands. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really have too much exports that were acceptable.
Nah, man, it was just that. It was
like Haiti. Haiti could only do the sugarcane too.
Yep. So and then on my mom's side, her father worked at a school. I don't know what capacity. I know he wasn't a teacher, but he worked at a school. I'm not sure doing what. That's all I know. And then that's it, man. That's my lineage. That's as far as I know.
And then what brings us to you? Where did you grow up, and where do you currently live now?
Okay. Okay, so my parents met in the Bronx. My father was in Manhattan growing up, and when he turned 17, 18, he left Spanish Harlem, which is in Manhattan, and went to the Bronx. And he got an apartment out there. And then my mom, when she was 18, she left Puerto Rico, and she came out here to the Bronx, and she was living with her cousin. And she had a daughter.
So this is what, 1970s Bronx?
Yeah, this is
rough area.
1970 actually. On the dot. 1970 is when my sister was born. So, and this was with her first marriage. So she came here like a year or two before that. So she came in the late 60s.
Okay.
So she came, and then she went to the, she was in the Bronx. She had my sister, and then what was that? Like in the 1976, they met at a club in the Bronx. Wow. And so they met at a club, and they exchanged numbers, and then man, I was born like 2 years later or something like that, or a year later. I don't even know. So and then and that was it. Oh yeah, and so where I live now. Okay, so I lived in the Bronx, and then I went to Queens. So I say I grew up in Queens because I spent my high school years in Queens. I went to Thomas Edison, and in my senior year, I moved. Well, my parents moved, and we went to Long Island. We went to Franklin Square, which is right next to Hempstead. I never say Franklin Square because nobody knows Franklin Square.
Just say Hempstead.
I say Hempstead. So I say Hempstead. So I moved to Hempstead, and I was able to finish my senior year there out of Franklin Square. I'm sorry, H. Frank Carey in Franklin Square. Graduated, and then I moved back to Queens briefly by myself. But in between, I moved to Philly. like after that, I went to Philly for a year. I went to West Palm Beach for a year. I went to Tampa. I moved, like, yo, that was it. I was spending a lot of time in different places. And then ultimately I came back. I don't remember, man, what year, but when I came back, I moved to Queens one last time, and then I came to Florida. I came to Florida 2006, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I went to Orlando first, then I went to Fort Lauderdale, and I met Marty, and then I came back to Orlando.
In Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
One thing I gotta say, I don't know how many viewers are really gonna care about this information, but it's good to have documented for your kids, because the vagueness that you have, the next generations won't have that with this recording.
That's true. That's true. And that's why I want to interview my parents. Great
Right.
point.
Because once you get it out the horse's mouth, it's as close to.
Listen, let me tell you something, Joe. You know what I would do to have video of me interviewing my father?
Word.
Like, you know what I would do whatever. If I had 3 wishes, one of them would be that.
Word.
That's how much that it's very nice.
I'm gonna lock him in. I keep telling him. I saw him this past weekend, and I said, look, we got to do this. And then he was like, first your mom. So I'm like, all right.
Ladies
So,
first.
I'm gonna have to lock it in next week for sure. I'm gonna have them back-to-back nights.
That's awesome.
So let's start getting into it, man. What were some of the first things you started collecting when you were a kid? Like, what were you drawn to?
Okay, man. The first, I mean, I was always a collector as far back as I can remember. I remember probably the first thing that I actually collected was GI Joes, the little 3.5-inch tall GI Joes.
Yes, me too.
Man, them things were, it was a wrap. I was addicted to it. And
how old were you when those were out?
What happened?
How old were you when those were kind of out? Because I guess the cartoon popped off in what, like 85, 84?
Yeah, I was in elementary school.
Right, so
it was huge, whole late 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if they were already out when I found out about them or when they came out. I don't remember, but I remember seeing the cartoon and being like, yo, this is crazy. This is amazing. You know, the whole shooting and jets,
the lasers. It wasn't even bullets. It was lasers.
It was lasers, man. So I loved it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so I remember going and asking my parents to buy me GI Joes. So I had accumulated a small little army. You know, I can't remember. It was probably, if I had to guess, something like 7 different GI Joes. You know,
right.
And I'm like, yo, these 7 GI Joes, I'm killing it in the room, like bam, 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 bam.
Exactly.
Just wilding out. Bro, I remember they got me the first jet, like
the Blackbird.
I still have it. It was a gray
the
Joe.
Gray jet, not the Blackbird, the GI Joe one, their jet.
Right, the GI Joe one.
It was F-14 or F-18 or whatever.
That's it. I still have it. And then, a matter of fact, after speaking of that, the black one, the big black one, that's
the Blackbird, and that came with Baroness. Baroness, yeah.
So I had that one. I kept that one, and the kids destroyed it. I ended up having to just throw it out because it was like dangerous, sharp.
It starts shipping up, and then it gets sharp edges, yo.
That's exactly what happened. So I had to retire it. I still had the small one. So anyway.
Right. That was so dope. I had the little plane that flew on it. That was so sick.
Yes. Yes, yo, that thing is crazy. You know, it was a mistake. I let the kids play with it, and that was it. It was a wrap, man.
Quick question, sidebar. Did you, Eddie, you too? Just
Yeah.
wondering, did any of you guys have Thundercats when you were growing up?
Yeah, I did.
You know, I didn't. I like the Thundercats. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I love Thundercats.
Eddie,
But,
tell me they wasn't ill, man. They was dope, man.
Yeah, they
was
were.
dope. They was
You
dope.
know what? I didn't like to play with them. They were to me like collectible.
Like collect, right. Because they didn't do much like the arms
like my
moves.
wrestling. Yeah, my wrestling and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
kill those, but those I kept
Right.
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any of those, Joe? Like the big wrestling figures with the ring and all of that crazy?
no, I didn't have the wrestling figures, but a good friend of mine, like my best friend growing up, he had a bunch of them. So it was kind of like, you know what? I'll bring the Joes. You got the wrestling joints. We're good.
Yeah, that's an all day extravaganza, right
Oh
there.
man, yeah, man. We was just wilding out with those things, man.
Bro, I lived with my grandmother. My grandmother would go crazy. She'd beat me with the wooden spoon. I would sit underneath the kitchen table every day, all day long, and you would just hear psh, 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 all day. She would go crazy and have a fit.
Bro, it's something about us playing like that. And it was like, you know, you're physically looking at your hands and you see the figures, but it was almost like a mirage where it was like you were seeing a movie or a cartoon yourself. Like I'm just creating it. And it helped our imaginations, man. Like I can't imagine growing up and only playing video games, like no basketball, no skateboarding, nothing, just video games, and that's it. Like, and you see what type of people our generation produced, man. We had some of the most creative people in a generation, like, you know.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't have any tablet or you know, like I look at my kids now and they have meltdowns. They can't handle, you know, 5 minutes alone on the car ride without a tablet. And I'm like, yo, that didn't even exist. Like me having you crazy. Like I've told
I wouldn't even want it. I wouldn't even. It would collect dust.
The tablet was you looking out the damn window. That was your tablet.
Yeah, man. It was crazy.
Bro, I knew how to get to DC from New York by the time I was 10 years old, just because we used to drive there like 2 or 3 times a year, and I had nothing to do but look out the damn window.
Exactly.
Eventually, I realized, okay, get on the highway and go this way, and don't get off till you hit this. Like,
that's right.
By the time I started driving, I knew how to drive out of state easily, you know. And all these, you know, what bugs me out is how there's all these people who they get behind the wheel and they can't move unless they got a GPS.
Yeah, they don't know northeast, southwest, nothing.
I said, wow, bro, I came from the era of maps. Your ass be in the car with a big ass fold out. You gotta have pen marks on it, draw your route.
Yeah, hell yeah. I remember that. I remember it was a big deal when the software came out. You could get the mapping software.
The TomTom.
You know what I'm saying? And you put in your disc and you put in your address of where you're going, and it mapped it out for you. You printed it out.
Oh, MapQuest. MapQuest, yes.
MapQuest.
That was yo, I used to take them 2 pieces of paper. You couldn't stop me, bro. I'm going anywhere now.
Yeah, bro, because I used to have books of the different maps because I had jobs that I had to drive everywhere. Connecticut, the boroughs, the this, the that, whatever. So I had a book for everywhere. When that thing came out, I was like, yo, this is a wrap. They just made my life easy.
Right.
And look at it now.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, okay, so going back to the original question, what was the first thing that I was collecting?
Yes.
Suzerpi in the chat. What's the deal? How you doing? Everybody in the chat, real talk. What's up? What's up? The guys are interviewing me. So we're talking about what was my first collectible that I started collecting. I said G.I. Joes. And, you know, I didn't have Thundercats, but I liked, you know, Thundercats, don't get me wrong, Pantro and Chitara. I can't remember everyone else. I watched the cartoon though.
Yeah.
But so going back with the G.I. Joes, I remember I had my little group of G.I. Joes, and then my mom, she was cool with this lady that I'll never forget. She lived half a block off of 179th and Hillside, and for whatever reason, man, her name is escaping me right now. But for whatever reason, she went over there to hang out. She had an older son, right? He was older than me by maybe 5 years, maybe a little more. So I remember I was there just chilling, kind of, you know how it is. You're just bored, you know, no tablet, you know? So I remember I was sitting on the sofa, just, you know, just trying to, you know, be chilling. And then he came over and he was like, yo, you bored? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm bored. I'm chilling, you know? And so he's like, yo, and he busted out this huge box of G.I. Joes. I kid you not, man. That thing must have been, I am not exaggerating you, 50 G.I. Joes or more, bro. I mean, it was like, bro.
Yeah, he probably had doubles and all that. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
he had several doubles of certain characters and all that, certain figures. He brings the box and I start playing with them. I'm like, yo, and this is my thing. This is my thing, G.I. Joes. I'm having an all-out extravaganza war in this lady's living room, right? and he wasn't like participating. He just left them with me and bounced, right? And walked away. I'm like, yeah, man, I got that.
Yeah, you had a meltdown.
Bro, he comes back at the end, you know, and we're getting ready to go. I pack everything up, and he comes over and he was like, "You like them?" I'm like, "Yo, man, do I like them, man? I just spent an hour and a half. I'm sweating. Look at me, man. I love this thing, man." Bro, he blessed me. He said, "I don't even play with those things anymore. You can have them."
Wow.
He gave me the illest G.I. Joe collection. I am not exaggerating you. It was like, so
that was always the best way to come up when we was young, was to find like someone a little older that was ready to let them go. You know what I'm saying?
Or that rich friend that has everything and more.
Right.
And they want to be your friend so bad that they just give you whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, the GALE in the building's in the chat. What up, the GALE?
Shout out to GALE.
So that was it. That was the first thing I started collecting. I would say as a kid.
Which flows right into the next question. You started collecting GI Joes, preferably because of the cartoon and watching it. So what were some of the other cartoons that you enjoyed watching?
Oh man, I love Transformers. Transformers was really big. Thundercats, Voltron. I was crazy for Voltron. He-Man.
He-Man was good.
He-Man. And those were my top, man. G.I. Joe, Voltron, Transformers. Those were probably my top 3 cartoons. Like, you know, my mom would drop me off at the neighborhood babysitter, and it was just a house that was close to the school that all the, you know, kids would whatever, you know. And so I would go there. I don't even know what time it is. I know it was dumb early, and boom, G.I. Joe time. I know that for a fact that every morning early before school at that lady's house, I was watching G.I. Joe. I looked forward to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it right there, man.
Cool. What about some video games? Because I know we've spoken about Northern Boulevard.
Oh man, video games, bro. Oh man, that was crazy because I'm not gonna front. My dad, he would hook me up with video games, you know. So I definitely had more than the average kid in video games. And then my neighbor, literally my next door neighbor, he had like a collection that was just as good as mine, maybe even better, right? So when we linked up, and because we made sure we never got the same game.
Which system was
Nintendo.
Gotta be Nintendo.
Nintendo. Okay. Well, okay, so let me start off. And my sister, I want to interview her too. I already told her. So my sister, she had the Atari, you know, so she would go play Atari. Bro, you remember those big bookshelves with the encyclopedia?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like everybody had one. So off to the side of it, in the same kind of bookshelf, there was a section just big enough for a little TV, you know, and that's the Atari.
What the hell? What were those encyclopedias called?
Botanica?
Yeah, Encyclopedia Britannica, but there was also another one before Britannica.
Yeah, that's the one I had actually, because I didn't have the Britannica. I had the other one. They used to advertise it on TV and everything.
It was red. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I had the blue one. It's the different one.
Oh, okay. The one we had was red. That's all I remember. It was red.
It'll come to me.
So my video game career started there. You know, whenever she wasn't playing, I was able to play. I liked Asteroid Defender. What was it called? Safari? The guy that would, like Tarzan, he would have to
Pitfall.
That's it.
That's my game, bro. Frogger.
Real big game.
You got Frogger on there.
Yep.
So she had Atari 2600, it sounds like.
She had Mad. There was a game called Mad, I remember. But I mean, yeah, she had all that. So we would rock on that Pac-Man. Yup. Yes, Gale. Yeah, man. So that's where it started. But it was like I played it, but I wasn't addicted to it. You know what I mean? And so when Nintendo came, I'll never forget. You know, we got the Nintendo. We break it out from the box, break out the gun, duck hunt, and all that, and that was it. It was a wrap. Like
Atari caught dust real quick.
Man, it was crazy, and that was it.
Joystick thing. Get this out of here, man. Give me this controller. Up, down, left, right. B. What you talking about? Can't do that over there. Give me Contra, man. Give me Contra right now, man.
Yo,
Contra was big game.
Up, down, left, right, select, start, bro.
John G said burger time. Wow, he took it back. John G.
That was also a big game, yeah.
Bro, it's Paperboy with Nintendo.
That was the game.
Man, I like that game. Zelda, Punch Out.
Yes.
You know, these games were, I mean, and that was it. I was like addicted to these games. Addicted.
What about Metroid?
Metroid was good. I liked Shinobi, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that was my shit. That was on Sega though. That was my shit.
Oh, right. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Got your Alter piece on. You got your Master System. I know you caught the Master System, bro. I know. He was like Altered Beast. He got open, bro.
Oh,
yo, I never forget, man. I wanted a Master System so bad, bro. And my parents really didn't celebrate Christmas like that. Like they only did it when I was young, just so it's like you're a kid, you experience it. By the time Sega came out, it was kind of at that age where it's like, you know, they were trying to do it. Bro, I'll never forget. I wanted it so bad that the night before Christmas, like, you know, you go to sleep, bro, I had a dream that I woke up and it was Christmas and I went and opened it, started playing it and everything. And then I woke up, I was like, no. Bro, I went out my room and it was really there. I was like, oh, what? That was the craziest thing ever in my life, bro. I was telling my parents, like, yo, I just dreamt of this. Like, and they just sitting here like, yeah. Whatever, man. Go play a game, man. Like, when you turn that on and you heard Altered Beast, yo, you was like, it's on.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Altered Beast. I was at my friend's house and he was playing it. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And how he would change. He would just like, you turn into that beast.
The only thing, man, his body got big, but his head stayed the same size, bro.
Yep.
What's up with that, man? These upgraded graphics.
Oh my God! We have to watch, I watched it. 8-Bit Christmas. I watched it with the kids. You got to watch 8-Bit Christmas. It's about that Christmas, a kid wanting Nintendo and all the struggles that he goes through to get a Nintendo. A matter of fact, the character, because he's reflecting, he's talking about his youth. Him as an adult is Doogie Howser. I don't know his name, but the Doogie Howser actor,
Neil Patrick Harris, right?
That cat.
He's in the Matrix. Wow.
Yes.
That's kind of deep.
So 8-Bit Christmas, check it out. So yeah, man. So video games were huge, man. Mad Max. I was next level with my video games. Mad Max, I remember it was just like the map was like in Zelda. It was just a little dot.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Oh, it was horrible, bro.
Bro, I made a map. like I made a square. Like I would take, okay, that's what this is. So I would go and draw what was on that, and I made a map of all the papers.
Wow.
And so that now people come over and we play the game, and we had a map. Like yo,
that's sick.
so you know,
That's what you could have kind of do with like a game like Metroid, because it had levels. You go up in the air and had to shoot the wall, and they're like, oh, it's an opening there, and then you find a whole nother area, and then you get some sick armor. You know what I'm saying? But man, remember those books that used to come out? You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while.
Power.
Yeah, sometimes they would put maps in there and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Crazy Marios and Crazy Zeldas. Like, yes, I got a map now. All that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yo, a matter of you're gonna laugh. In Nintendo Power, there was a hotline you could call.
Yes.
Yep, the Nintendo hotline.
Yep. I called that hotline. I called the hotline, man.
My mom was like, if you call that number, I'm gonna beat your ass. That shit said like 10 cents a minute or something crazy. She was like, boy, call that number.
Bro, it was expensive. It was expensive.
Yep.
And man, one time, because my dad had a butt set that I can tap into any line and make the call.
Nice.
And one time I went into a feeder room. I'm a kid. He took me into Manhattan for whatever reason, for work. He had to go and do some stuff for work. And he was like, yo, just come. I'm like, all right. So boom, I grab his butt set, and I already knew, I've been around this stuff. I tap into a line. I hit that 1-800, boom. And there was I always had a few questions I needed to ask. I hit him up. Yo. So,
that's sick, man.
You just brought up a memory that was buried. But yeah,
that is sick.
That was funny. I tapped somebody's line to call 1-800 whatever Nintendo Power, bro.
I don't know if it was Nintendo Power books, but I remember there was another book we used to get, right? And it used to have games in the back, and it had prices and everything, and it had like used or new, but everything would come from like Japan, and it was like COD or something weird. So it was like risky, you know what I'm saying? But it was always in the back of the book. It was like you could order these games. It was weird, bro. I was like, oh man.
Man, if you have those Japanese games now,
man,
they're worth so much money.
So many Japanese versions in Nintendo games, bro.
They're worth big money.
I wish I would have kept my cartridges, man, for sure.
Yeah. You remember like when you go to a new friend's house or something, it was like you knew his level of prestige based on his Nintendo stack. When you walked in and looked on his dresser, and you seen that gray, them games stacked up, you was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, we're about to get into something.
Yeah. All right. I see.
I got a new best friend. I'm gonna be here all the time.
Right.
Oh my God.
As a matter of fact, let me call my people. I'm gonna sleep over tonight.
Right.
Oh my God. By the way, everybody that's watching, please drop a question. The guys are interviewing me. If you want them to ask anything in particular, go ahead and drop a question. If you like free stuff, follow. And also, there's once this is uploaded, there'll be a link for the Discord, free Discord. Come and join, and we talk all things collectibles, and we talk about a bunch of different things. So, all right. So those were the games I liked when I was a kid.
Eddie or me?
You go ahead.
My question was, this is an obvious one, is do you still own any of your old toys?
Yes. Bro, yes.
Do I?
Yes. I have, put it to you like this. I gave the kids a bunch of G.I. Joes, my old school ones, right? I kept a book bag pretty much full to the top of G.I. Joes. And those are mine. Like, you can't touch these.
Right.
Yeah.
And I gave them, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I must have given them 20, 25 Joes. And so I have G.I. Joes. I have Voltron. I have Optimus Prime. I have old Hess trucks.
Yeah.
I have old Hess trucks.
Play with that. Somebody's head get bust open.
Yo, for real, man.
Like giving them a bunch of black lions. Somebody gonna die.
So yeah, man, I definitely, man, I have a lot of the toys that I had growing up. Not all of them made it, man. Not all of them made it, but yes, I do, man. I have a Darth Vader, a 1970, I forget, 77, I think. Darth Vader figure. Yeah.
You know what's interesting is there's a Boba Fett that came out that year that if you have the original with like the projectile that actually shoots out of his backpack, is worth like mad bread. And it was people like when the whole card thing and Pokemon, you know, all the collecting things stuff started blowing up last year. That was one of many things that was like, you know, if you go on Macari, you could catch someone slipping because they just got it up there as a regular toy, not realizing like, yo, this is the one where the rocket shoots out his back. So I remember going on there and I seen one just had sold for like $5, dude. No exaggeration. It was horrible. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, I definitely need to get ahead and see what's up with that because I don't have that.
Yeah, that's an ill collectible to have, bro.
Yeah, man.
Because I remember the commercial and everything. Like, press a little thing on his back. It was like, rocket came out. Like, oh, it's Boba Fett, bro.
I mean, bro, I really like him. He's one of my favorite, you know, Star Wars characters, you know.
Have you seen the new show?
I saw the first episode, man. Okay. I mean, I played it. Let me say, I played it. And in between separating fist fights, I got to see, but I don't want to give any spoilers, but yes, I got to see, you know, him go against that thing, that monster, you know, and then he hemmed him up with the chain. Sick. I don't want to give just in case I don't want to give any spoilers, but yes, I did play it. I tried to watch as much as I could while it was playing on the TV, but yes, it looks dope.
Yeah,
man. I love my figures, man. The old school toys, man. Those old school toys are dope. You know, there was one that you guys remember the show called V? Just straight up V.
Yeah,
dude, that's my show, bro. Don't play around, man.
Okay. We're about to talk about some V right now.
That's my show. Do not play, bro.
Bro, my father, he's like, Joey. They call me my real name's Jose, but my mother calls me Joey because my father's name is they call him Joe, so they call me Joey, right? Anyway. So for whatever reason, I don't even know how that happened because my father's real name is Jose too. So I don't even know how that history happened. Maybe that's a good question for him. So he's like, look, Joe.
Write that down.
I know, I got to write it down. How the hell they start calling you Joe?
Right.
So I'm like, he's like, you need to watch this show. Right?
That's how my father was.
Yeah, he knew.
Our fathers probably hung out together, and then we would have grown up together for the same nutty stuff anyway, even though we ain't grown up together.
Absolutely. And he's like, you gotta watch this. And I'm like, what is it called, Dad? It's V. V, what? V, like VV. And he's like, yo, V. You gotta just don't worry about the name. It's a letter, man. Just watch the stupid thing, all right?
Just like my father, son. He felt just like he ain't gonna tell you. He gonna tell you, but he ain't gonna tell you.
Right.
What is this?
And bro, I'm like, oh my God. We got aliens that look like humans. They trying to eat rats. And all this. I'm like, oh my God, what am I watching?
When dude was hiding up in the vent and he was looking, and it is funny.
He saw him eat the thing. He saw him eat and the skin, dude, lizards.
Yo, that was way ahead. Even the graphics was crazy, bro. The graphics was crazy on that show.
But back in the days,
bro, John G is talking about Rowdy Piper was the man. You know what movie he's talking about? You know what movie
Predator?
he's talking about? Nah, They Live. That's my other favorite movie. That's I actually have a song coming out that's based on the concept of They Live. So I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy that when I drop that.
That's what's up. Great. Man.
Great.
But yeah, bro, the V was crazy. I love that show. And look, I grew up going to church. They don't call it church, but we're just going to call it church because that's what everybody knows, all the time, like, you know, several times during the week. And the night that V played, it was on a church night, but I was lucky. It was on a night that they only had a 1 hour session or whatever.
Congregation.
Yes, a 1 hour meeting or whatever, right? So, and I lucked out because it was just a 1 block from my house. Because it was like a Bible study, so it was at somebody's house. Yo, it was like, amen.
Yeah.
Gone, run into the house. This is before DVRs, you know?
Exactly. And yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yo, I was like,
missed it. If you missed it, your ass missed it.
Yeah, man. So, bro, it's so funny.
You had to check the TV guide. Like, when does this come on again? When does it come on?
Yo, I remember one time running, because I'm not even exaggerating. Yo, I would straight up run full. I mean, as fast as I could. And one time I fell and I landed on my hip, and I graded like my hip. And yo, I had the illest scar on my hip for years from that. It was crazy. But anyway, didn't V have a TV series also after the movie?
No, there was no. It was actually the other way around. It was a TV series, and then they tried to make a movie, but it bombed.
Yes, they actually redid the V show.
Yeah,
John G.
More recently, like 5-10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Too.
Yeah, it only lasted a season and a half, and they cut it halfway through the second season.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man, the original. So, okay, so the reason why I brought that up is because you were asking me about toys, right?
Right.
If I could bring back a toy, it would be, there was this, I don't know if you remember, but the V vehicles, there was a V van, like a gray van, like an Astro van.
I was about to say it was the 18 van. It was the same 18 van, but
it was like a van. It was a van, right?
Yep.
I couldn't remember exactly
what it is. It's the Astro. Yep.
Okay, so Bong, I had a V van toy, and bro, the wars I had with that van were epic, bro.
How many Joes could you fit in there?
Not too many Joes. I remember it wasn't so big, you know, right. But it was, you know, it was smaller than a GI, like a little bit smaller than a GI Joe vehicle. But
right.
Man, I'm telling you, that was just, it was crazy. It was crazy. If I could bring back one toy, it would either be that or my Air Raiders spaceship, which I don't think anybody knows about.
He said the Air Raiders.
Yeah, there was a cartoon that lasted probably one episode, and I was their only fan, I think. And I wanted the Air Raider spaceship. And I thought it was so dope because you press the button on it and it shot air through the top, and it came with a little ball, like a little light foam ball, and it would just hover like 2 inches above the ship.
Right.
And I was like, yo, this is amazing.
Anybody remember, speaking of obscure cartoons, how about one called Mask?
Mask?
And it was I don't know Mask. It was basically like a combination of G.I. Joes with a lot of vehicles. So they called it Mask because the vehicles were kind of transformed. So it was like a smash of everything. It was Transformers. It was, you know, the espionage of G.I. Joe because they were high tech. Like, it was crazy. And then the toy line was dope, bro. That's something you should look up on YouTube. Mask, bro. Like,
Mask. All right, I'm gonna look that up. Yeah. So yeah, man, that was it. Those are the toys, cartoons, all that I enjoyed growing up.
Okay.
So what was your first memorable collectible?
That's the Dan Marino, Joe Montana rookie cards.
Okay, I would say that's a good one.
Yeah, I still remember picking them up on Hempstead Turnpike across from Belmont Racetrack. I don't know if you guys were over there back, you know, whatever year it was, but there was a card shop that I used to go to. And that was probably, I'm pretty sure I got it there. Yeah, I got those there. And those were like my my first big collectibles.
Wow. And that's
that I
deep
got.
too, because that was in like real time. You know, it's not like right now going to get one of their cars. Like this is while they were doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this was a long time ago. Yeah,
They were actually very expensive too back then.
Yeah, honestly, I think that they have depreciated.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly.
I think
And I think it's something to be said with that. Like, that's how I'm honestly viewing a lot of this stuff, bro. Like, unless I perceive a player to be a GOAT, which when you think every 10 years and no matter what sport, there's only 1 or 2 that are playing concurrently. Usually it's 1 or 2 players that just dominate the sport. And so when you look back, there's so many ancillary and accessorized type of players that in that moment you was like, oh yeah, dude is nice, dude. Like Scottie Pippen, you can't front on Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, all of them. Like, but yet where their cars at today, not where they should be.
Right.
Not at all.
A lot of it is because like half the people invested in collecting weren't even alive or cared back then. A lot of people that's of the age to have cared is dying off, or they already have their stash. Like a lot of people have already gotten, like if you want a Jordan card, you probably got it by now. And that's why I think the market is kind of stagnant too. It's like, we just came off a year of getting technically free money here and there. So I feel like a lot of people got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, those cards aren't like today either, where like it was a lot of them cards printed too. So it's like, Barry Sanders rookie, all them cards is great, but it's like, damn, there was a lot printed too.
A hell of a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. I enjoyed watching sports. My father got me into baseball young. Loved watching baseball. And took me to Yankee games. So I was just drawn into sports. And then that just developed or evolved into me watching basketball, which he watched. He watched, but he wasn't like, not like baseball. Like baseball, we were going to games, like on the reg. Several times a year, we were going to games. Like
checking the newspaper in the morning, looking at the scores.
Oh, yeah.
Stats.
Well, yeah, and we Yankee talk all day, all that. So basketball was like, oh, if the Knicks are on, when there's no Yankee game or whatever, like,
right, exactly.
Okay. So, and then football was not on the radar, and then I started watching football, and then he started watching football because I was watching football, and then so. It just that was the whole vibe of the house. So when my collecting of the toys, because I kept my G.I. Joes and a lot of the Transformers and whatnot. So I was just a collector, just a natural collector. I just, wanted a piece of these memories forever. I wanted to be able to look at them. So that's how I approached the collecting of the sport cards. It was that I never was a pack. Not that I never bought a pack, but I was, always a singles purchaser.
Right.
I would go and, and say, oh, I want that one card.
I'll tell you, I wish I would have known you back in the day. I would have saved a lot of money. Man, because now as a freaking adult, I'm sitting here like, no, just buy the damn card you want.
And be done with it.
If anything, buy a couple of them because you never know what you're going to get in the mail. And that's about it. And if you got 2 that's decent, send them off for grading and keep one and flip one and call it a day or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, man.
Chasing these packs and these boxes, man, I can't do it, man. It's too trivial. I was even talking to one of my boys the other day about stuff, and it's like, there's so many things. Like we were talking about the DraftKings NFT and how it's like, you buy the ticket, then you wait for this date for a cube. You get the cube, and now you're playing like a numbers game. I meant to tell you too, if you go back to the site, there's like 4 new Tom Brady collectibles that were not listed when we looked before, and they're all like 8,000, 12. They're like the super rare ones that obviously they must have either been unlocked and nobody put them up for sale, or they were still stuck in cubes. I don't know, but they were not there before. I hit my boy up. He's like, that's definitely new, but it's only a few of them, so they're like thousands of dollars, bro. I'm like, I'm like, I could have had one of those. Like,
That's crazy.
but when you break that down, you're like, okay, 12 at minimum, right? You could spend all the way up to like 500, whatever it is, for Sapphire Signature one. Okay, now you got to pay $60 again for the cube. Now you unlock it, and what if, it's a lot of what ifs.
I know, man.
And a lot of people are like, what I could do with $60. I throw that in some crypto that's less than a penny. Like you start really like thinking about this money you spending. Like on the one hand, it don't seem like a lot, but when you start really thinking about other investments that are out there that are so volatile, yeah, you could invest in it, goes down in a week, but then all of a sudden that shit gain like 100% next week. What are you gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're like,
yes, sir.
There's certain things that just are not gonna do that. Like if I buy a box of cards and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit on this because I think in a year or two it's gonna be, like it always is. A year or two out, those things go for 3x. That's beautiful, but it's just still a lot of buts. Now I gotta list it, I do it. Like it's just a lot, bro, and it's very risky.
It is a lot. I don't know, somewhere around here I have 2 boxes packaged that I have to mail out.
Oh, you just had the box. Yeah, you just had it.
Yeah, I don't even know what. Oh yeah, it's behind that, but yeah, man, it is what it is. The whole,
cumbersome. It feels cumbersome, like clunky, like tired of tape. I'm tired of going places and mail. I'm tired of wondering if the mailman grabbed it and not some porch pirate. I'm tired of all of it, bro.
I know.
I do 30 packages a day sometimes. It's ridiculous.
Jeez.
Damn.
Yeah, when you're on that scale and you have a system like you do going, and then you're able to
do it by hand, bro. I'm old school. I take it to the
I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing. So, like, I have to give my hats off. Like, I take my hat off to both of y'all, man. Y'all both do things like in a day that I'm like, I have no idea how these dudes got. Y'all are older than me. I'm like, yo, what the? I don't know, but I'm just like, yo, these dudes got batteries in their backs, man. Like, I need some of that juice, bro.
Man,
stop the hustle, bro. Once I stop the hustle, that's it. It's over.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do it. I can't stop.
That's right. So, my question is, what do you consider yourself? A collector, a flipper, or an investor, or like a mixture of all those things?
I'm definitely a collector. I guess it depends on what I'm buying, but let's just say as a whole, I'm definitely a collector, man. Like when it comes to my toys, the sport cards, I never sold a sport card in my life until a few months ago. So definitely a collector without a doubt. And then let's talk about Veve NFTs. I am, it's tough. It's tough, but I'm going to say a collector because, okay, Steamboat Mickey, okay? Steamboat, I was blessed.
Yes.
Okay, I was blessed. I got an ultra rare, and, I'm hearing a lot of, people saying that it's going to pump and it's going to be just as much as the partner, and this and that and all this. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what the future is. But one thing I do know is I want that Spider-Man ultra rare. I want the Todd. I want the comics. I want this. But why? It's because I want to have those in display in my veveverse living room because I want to floss, number one, but I want to look at it and it gives me an emotional.
You have an attachment to those things.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're more attracted to those than you are Mickey Mouse.
Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong. I live in Orlando and I have kids, and blah, 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 blah. And I have pictures of me in Disneyland with a belly shirt. And I'm like 8 years old. I don't even know what my mom was thinking. She put this shirt on that comes up to here, bro.
We all got it, bro. We all got it.
Bro, anyway, that's
boy.
but, bro, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Strange, but man,
I said you were showing your nipples out here, boy.
Oh.
But you just lucky that you didn't have the shirt with the little fringes that hang down.
I had it. I had it.
Bro,
I had the fringes, bro.
Oh,
bro, that's the only thing that it needed.
Damn.
And bro,
Hulk Hogan had it, man. It's no shame in it, man. Hulk Hogan, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
I had it.
Blame Hulk Hogan, bro. He's from Florida too, Orlando. You know, just blame it on Hulk, bro.
So look, I have the emotional tie to Disney. Don't get me wrong, but it's way stronger when the comic book stuff, Marvel,
Right.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
Right.
So I have a small list of special items that if I'm able to sell the Steamboat Mickey and buy those, it's gone. So that's what I want to do. I kind of want to sit on. And then those I'm not going to sell. I want to buy those. I'm willing to sell and flip certain items for other items, but those other items are to collect.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. In a weird way, Veve forces you to be a flipper, unless you just got mad bread and whatever you want to hold every single thing. But I mean, if you're participating in every single drop, there has to be certain things that, if you're pretty consistent with your drops, there's going to be things that you actually got lucky and got, and then you just sit there like, I really don't like this, or I really, I'll take a couple gems for this, So I think it's only going to become more of a thing where, not everything dropped is going to, pull on the heartstrings of everybody participating. Because I was hearing a couple of AMAs ago where they were like, they're trying to work with like artists from like France and, real artsy fartsy type stuff. You know what I mean? Like Westminster type, all this crazy stuff, So I'm like, you know what? I'll still be going for those drops. You know what I'm saying? But I'll sell it if I get it. Like, that's it, man.
Yeah,
the power move is to sell the Mickey at a certain price, then time it to where you could buy it back and still have it for the future, but make enough money off of it that you could go buy a Todd or go buy something else that you want.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard, but it's possible.
I'll just say from my experience that, me and Crypto Pro were talking about this the other day. The question is, why wasn't the 12-day gem squeeze as big as other gem squeezes past that only were like 2 to 3 days of back-to-back drops? The reason why is because it's way more users on the platform.
Right.
So when you have way more users, things are spread out more. So if people are all panic selling, they're not all, and we have more collectibles in general than we had back at the last gem squeeze. So it was like, if you could only have a certain amount of collectibles, those are the ones that everyone's going to try and sell. Whereas now today you got more people, what they have is more spread out. And the reality is there's a couple of pieces and you have to be dangerous. I mean, you have to be careful when you're talking to blue chips in particular, because if you really look at stuff, what happens is it's like certain stocks and certain cryptos, it's like everything else. Sometimes when stuff hits a new high, that next low you're waiting for is never as low as the last low. And you're constantly chasing a situation that if you're trying to sell one or two of your collectibles to get into the next one, you'll notice that they all move together. So as yours is going up and you're like, cool, now I can sell it. When you go and look at the other piece, it done went up too. Yeah. And it just constantly will have a 20 to 30% margin where you're going to find yourself loading some gems to get it. Unless you hit on another drop and then sell that, and then that makes up for the gap. But I've seen over and over, including myself, like I've sold one or two high price pieces to try and get into another nice high price piece. Before I knew a gem squeeze was coming. Gem squeeze comes, And then the piece I'm trying to get, it didn't even get affected. It never even went down. Why? Because the people who have it are holding it. It's not a lot of them made anyway. And it was one of the first pieces on the app ever dropped. So it's not like a super hot thing per se, like Adventure Time or Rainicorn. That's like hundreds of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like if people are preparing for a drop back to, they're not thinking about spending $600 on a Rainicorn. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, oh, I'm holding these gems, or, you know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of be careful how you move. And especially just thinking like, oh, I'll sell this. And when it dips, I'll just buy back. Like it doesn't always happen. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, of course it's going to dip. But the problem is when it shoots up super high, that next floor still might not be obtainable.
Right. Right.
You know?
By the way, everybody in the chat, drop a like, a follow. When this video is uploaded, I'm going to have a link to the Discord. Look, we talk all things NFT related. And so, yeah, man, go ahead, join us in the Discord. It's a good, nice community.
The Discord is crazy, by the way, bro. It's really, really great.
It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot to keep up with, man. So, you know, but it's fun. It's fun. You know, everybody's been chill. And so
Eddie had me laughing earlier. I went into our Telegram, and that's all I saw was, yo, the Discord is crazy. I just started laughing.
So yeah, man. So I consider myself a collector, but now here with Veve, it seems like I'm selling stuff.
Right. And you know what's interesting though is I don't see you as per se a investor. I think that the investor aspect will just come along with you being in it.
Right.
It's just like your car. It's like you're not sitting here looking at Beckett books every 2 days wondering if it went up or down. It's not about that for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like you said, at the end of the day, you're more of a collector. And because of happenstance, you need to be a flipper. But you know, me, I consider myself an investor because I have pieces right now that I'm holding on to that if someone's like, oh, you know, of course, everything looks good. Of course, you could find a place for everything in your showroom. But there's certain pieces that I know, like when it comes to that master showroom or me dwindling down collectibles and shedding stuff I don't want, there's a couple things in there that is cool, but it's not the end all be all. Like when I think of my final showroom, like I don't see those being in there. So, you know, it's crazy, man.
Right. But yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying, when I go and I buy, you know, a card or whatever it is, a collectible, even if it's on Veve, don't get me wrong, it's you buy it because you want it to go up in value, but I'm you know, I'm buying it because I want to be able to look at it, sit back and be like, oh, you know, that's my collection, that's my piece. And yes, it has value. Like again, the hot card of the day, the Joe DiMaggio autograph card. You know, when I scoop that up, I you know, I mean, dude, this I wasn't thinking about, oh my God, I'm gonna get a 10x return on it. You know, it's just part of it.
Who graded that card?
Beckett.
Yo, that's a nice slab, though.
Yeah, man, it's a nice, clean.
I think Eddie was telling me before, he was saying like, you know, with a lot of those older cards, autos, like that's the company you want to go with. I think you said SGC too, right, Eddie?
Yeah, SGC, anything pre-war, like anything vintage, you always want to go with SGC. SGC doesn't do autographs anymore.
Right. At one point, when they did do the autos, were they like grading the quality of the auto, or was that only Beckett that was doing it?
No, Beckett is this company that does that.
They're the ones, right? It was like crazy. I saw like two grades.
You know what? That's a good question, though. I'm not even 100% sure. They might have had it.
I've seen 2 grades on a SGC slab before.
So then, yeah. If you've seen it before, then yeah.
Right. It's just very rare, like very rare. That's why I'm thinking it's like you said, they probably stopped even providing the service.
Yeah.
I know this one, Beckett graded the autograph.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, they graded it.
So what did they do? They put it on the back?
Yeah, they put it on the back.
That's kind of dope,
They
man.
put it on, yeah, right there. They put it on the back.
Actually, when
Is
I
it
was, you know,
BGS or BVG?
This is BGS.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's just part of it. The whole investment part is part of it, but
okay, so
right now I'm
do
a
you see
collector.
yourself in? Do you see yourself investing in Omi?
Absolutely, 100%,
Yeah. How do we get in? How do we buy on?
Um,
bro.
right now, right now, your best bet is using a site called Bitforex. I could go through a light, gentle step-by-step process, but basically, a long story short, the most efficient, cost-efficient way, speed-wise, I found is buying XLM on Coinbase, and then you would send your XLM to your Coinbase wallet, and then from your wallet, you're going to send it to Bitforex. So obviously on Bitforex, you make an account, you know, it's an exchange. So you make your account there, and then you're going to send the XLM there. The problem is you can only buy OMI with USDT. So you would take the XLM, sell it for USDT. Once you have the US, you're going to just buy OMI from the same site and everything. So it's complicated, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
we'll have to go. We'll have to go over that behind the scenes.
I got you, man. I got you. You know, it's just the whole thing of like, imagine my answer was, oh, you open up your Coinbase app and buy it. So
It'll be
when I
nice.
say that, that's when the price is going to be at a floor that we'll never see again. You know, these numbers we see now, you'll never see them again.
Right, right.
And that's what
Absolutely agree.
separates. That goes into why the number is low. It's
Yep.
because, you know. So yeah, I'll definitely put you brothers on. You know, we got to get it while it's good because it could be announced any day now, or who knows when. You know that this next phase is coming up, and that's going to definitely create another bump. So, you know,
Yeah, man. I definitely got to. I gotta do it. I don't have any OMI. I've mentioned it before. I don't have any OMI, but if it was accessible, like on Binance or Coinbase or just on the Veve app, I would definitely have some. It's just the extra steps. I just need to, sit down and
Do it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Got it.
No, you can go ahead.
All right. What was my next question? Shoot. Oh, so I kind of know the answer to this. I think your viewers might know the answer to this, but does your family/wife support or admire your collection and the hobby that you're into? What's the feelings?
Well, it's interesting. My collection was at my father's house for a long time. I lived in a small apartment. I didn't have the room for it, so for a long time. So he had my collection, and then and he dealt with storing it, and it's not a small collection, So he dealt with storing it for a long time, and I'm talking about even my figures.
Right.
I have a closet here full of cards and comics, and I had about 4 foot tall big boxes. I think I had like 4 or 5 of them full of old collectibles, and so it was a nice size of a collection that he was storing. So he's completely supportive as far as my parents. Madi, she's cool with it. She, how do I say this? So she is like, oh, it's good for the kids to inherit, and so she likes that part of it, because sometimes
there's a very thin line between love and hate.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so what happens is she's fine with the collection I've accumulated through the years,
Right.
But now it's like it's not as how do I say? It's not like, oh yeah, go ahead, go get some OMI or go get this Veve NFT, like whatever you want, or or get this card. It's all good, It's no, that is not the case, It's like Oh no, I don't know about this.
I know, right?
You know, you're like, what? $50 for what? You
Right,
know,
for
and
what?
I'm
Well,
like,
what
yeah,
does it
man.
do? What does it do, though? What does it do?
Right,
You're like,
right.
nothing. It sits on my phone the same way as a comic sits in the closet. Yo, you know what I'm
Yeah.
just realizing, though? I can't wait to interview Eddie because I want to know the answer to that same question for him because I know he has the significant other too. So it's very intriguing. You know, he is the captain of the ship. Hopefully the wife isn't listening, but we all know he's the captain of the ship for 8 to 9 hours of the day. And then when he comes on here, he gets to, you know, play the background. You see him, he's still working. Don't let him fool you. The man is working
I'm
right
still working.
now.
He's right. Yeah.
So, you know,
To be honest with you, she left me alone a while ago. She lets me do what I got to do.
wow.
I have to say. I mean, I mean, she hasn't bothered me in a while.
Now, did you groom the
once she,
situation to this?
no,
Like,
no. Once she's seen the
money?
yeah,
Okay.
she's all right with it. Like
That's usually how it
every
is,
now
right?
and then when I'm on eBay, it tells you your 90-day,
Yeah.
you know, like what you made in the last 90
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
I see her peak like all the time. So
You see, yeah, you see, that helps. The fact
Right.
that
That's
I
why we
don't
got to
sell
get Joe.
anything.
That's why we got to get the channel together, y'all. This is why we need more viewing hours. You know what I'm saying? Once we get the checks rolling in, Joe could
yeah.
quit his job. Monty can fall back. Joe's gonna be buying new collectibles, new GI Joes all over again. It's gonna be on. He's gonna have 3 Tods. You know what I'm saying? Way Tods. We're gonna do all that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's you know, that's the problem. You know, I don't sell anything. You know, I buy
Right.
to collect,
Right.
and I have a collection, and it's worth a lot. Like on paper,
Right.
like, yo, this thing is worth, you know, 50 grand.
Right.
You know, I got a Michael Jordan rookie card. You know, it's graded a 7. You know, and so
Joe, do you have the stuff insured?
no, I don't.
That might help. That might help your situation a lot because at least she'll see on paper what.
But she has actually sat with me. I mean, obviously before the kids and stuff, she has sat with me and we've gone through the collection. We've done it, you know, 2 or 3 times. So she knows there's some big numbers. She knows.
Okay.
You know, comic books and all that is just it's one thing to talk about it, but another for me to be like, oh, look at this check.
Right. I sold this. I sold that. You know?
Yeah, look at this money or whatever.
Right.
You know,
because you know why she also is probably thinking that about the kids and inheriting is the way she views you is like, okay, at the end of the day, this dude is probably just gonna die with all this stuff, and it's just gonna go to the kids.
Right.
You know,
because that's the problem. That's even when I look at Veve, right? These collectibles I have now, even when veveverse comes and all that, that will probably just make it harder for me to want to let them go. Now that I could see them in an even better capacity than AR and all this stuff or whatever. So then, okay, well, at what point are you selling something? Like, I even think about this for myself because the more sicker it gets, the less I'm going to want to sell it. This is why I'm going into it like, bro, I have to get 2 of them, 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that day is going to come when it's like, yo, what are these investments for? It's like me buying stocks now thinking, oh, in 6 years, something's going to be whatever. Like, it's different, but you know what I'm saying? You have to have like an exit plan or at least understand why you're in it. And if you're in it to collect and you're never going to sell, then you need to put things in place to make sure that the people you would want to have your digital assets will receive them. Because that's one thing I worry about a lot right now is, you know, I don't have the best health in the world. We're all, you know, older gentlemen. Nothing's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I know people years younger than me that die, years older than me that die. Anything can happen. And I've seen like an ad on YouTube here and there. There's certain companies popping up now that let you write like a digital asset will. Wow. And this is where they're going, you know, and that's probably an NFT itself, you know what I'm saying? When you actually do the paperwork or whatever, you know, so I think it's important that we start thinking about these things too. The more I invest, the more I'm like, the last thing I would want to do is pass away and no one in my family gets this. Like, hell no.
Yeah.
That's too much work. Like,
it's scary.
Yeah,
no,
it's scary.
It is scary. It is absolutely scary.
And that's
You know?
where, having a physical collection almost is a better situation, because you like, oh, that's Ed, that's what Eddie collected. That's all his stuff.
It's right
You
there.
can see it. You can see it, gather it up. All right, we garage selling, we keeping it, versus some joint that's in my phone. Like when you die, is your next of kin or your estate gonna be able to get your passcode? Or are they even gonna understand how to get into Veve and see what you got? Like, it's so much trivial. Like, I'm sitting here thinking like I need to write down instructions just in case. Like, I don't want someone to sell my stuff before it should be sold either, because I may understand what I have, but they may not.
Right.
So it's so much I be thinking about, it's deep, man.
No, yeah, absolutely. I don't know, going back to what, Mani and the collectibles and stuff, I told her, I was like, you know what, maybe I should sell some of the big stuff, and she's like, nah. So even she's like, nah,
Wow.
just, and she's like, give it to the kids. She's like, just give it to the kids. So that's where we are with that,
What you should do is ask her why, because what she could be thinking is those real sick profits will be realized in their lifetime more than your own, which is dangerous, because as you know, we've been speaking a lot about the effect of what happens to 2 to 3 generations worth of players once we go.
Yeah.
Because none of these kids grew up with those players. At best, they had us in their ear, like, yo, this dude was ill. Sit down and watch this game. But it ain't the same as watching the dude night in and night out.
Right.
So again, your understanding of these people's place in history or whatever, if they ain't a GOAT, who knows what they're going to do with it? So it's almost like, it's scary. It makes you almost want to reap the benefits while you're alive at some point. Because it's like, I could see you doing better with the money, or I could set up this account over here, and you don't even know about it till you're 18, and it's some crypto account, and it's just going to grow.
Pay
And you
for
don't even
college.
know. Yeah, like,
it's so funny.
To consider.
Yeah, absolutely. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine that is younger, and he was too young to see Michael Jordan play. He's seen LeBron play, and so he's like, LeBron is the best player to ever play, and I'm like, that's fine. I think that you're saying it to like a matter of fact, like Michael Jordan is not even close, and then the response was, well, Michael Jordan the players from back then can't hang with the players of nowadays. They
okay.
on
It's the other way around, buddy. It's the other way around.
That's right.
So
you have no idea what that league was like in the 80s.
Half these dudes will be leaving within the first minute of the first quarter after getting yanked, trying to go up for a layup and get pulled to the ground. These dudes are made of glass, bro. Look at Anthony Davis, bro. This dude hit. Nobody even touches him and he gets injured, bro. Get the hell out of here.
None of them would be able to score against the defense of those players. It was a totally different game.
Did any of you guys ever see the highlights when it was like, they're going over like the Pistons rivalry and stuff, and you see those games where it was like Jordan was just starting, and the first time he cooked Detroit, they was like, okay, who's this dude? Next time they played him, he went up for a layup. They literally threw him on the floor, bro. Like, he was nobody.
Yep.
I was like, if LeBron went through that to any of these dudes, like, they wouldn't even know what to do.
It got so bad, they beat up Jordan so bad that if you looked at him wrong, you were getting a foul.
Yo, that's why that was happening.
Because they beat him up so bad because they didn't know what else to do, that every referee would call foul on whoever was just looking at him.
Yo, because they be trying to guard him, they just tap him a little bit. Foul.
Yeah,
like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
I get so frustrated. They would just get frustrated. They wouldn't even know what to do at that point.
Yeah, and John G in the chat says savage. It was a savage game back then, and I completely agree.
Yes.
It was savage. That was a great way to put it, And the thing is,
look at football.
What was that, Eddie?
Look at football.
Oh my God.
But
man. How many quarterbacks you see get gang tackled and come up with their helmet turned sideways, facing the other direction?
Bro, the game is to now set up to protect the quarterback.
Right.
And it's just a
It's
totally
to
different
protect
game.
all the players way more. And to be
Right.
honest, it makes sense because each player is worth more now.
Yes.
This
And the
game
crazy
is-
part is they get hurt more.
Right.
So okay, so going back to what we were saying, that the whole investment thing and the with Madi and the cards and the collectibles, you know, she's with it, she's cool, but she's like, you know, be easy with the spending, with the
Right.
buying all of them,
Yeah.
and going with and so she's like, give it to the kids. And to go with what you said, the reason why I brought up that statement by my friend is because that's him. What is his kids gonna say,
Right.
right? And then his kid, and he does have a young kid, and he's like, you know, that young kid, when that young kid is 25 years old,
Right.
and Michael Jordan is, you know, we're all gone. We're all gone. You know, there may be a new Jordan, LeBron, or who the next flavor. Now you're talking a few generations ago. They were
Exactly.
like, Michael Jordan. What?
And basically Jordan becomes Dr. J.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Which is
Exactly.
a damn shame, because how do you talk about a top anything when before Jordan, Dr. J owned everything, bro? He took over the dunk contest. I mean, in-game stuff. It was ridiculous. And then, like, bro, how do you discount Bill Russell? The man got more rings than could fit on his hands, bro.
Yep.
That's crazy.
No,
So
there's
you know,
a lot of
you're absolutely
old
right.
players that get discredited, man. It's a
And
shame.
it's disgusting because their cards and everything, memorabilia in general, should be doing way better. And all of this stuff just turns me off to really even.
Al Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Those
Forget
are
it,
two
man.
cards I want to get. You know, I don't have. You know,
Yeah.
so the thing is, I see. I want to keep them. I want the kids to inherit them, but I see that they don't really. I mean, they're young still, you know, but I don't know, man. I'm with Strange. Like, I'm not sure if that is the right play, because I don't see them getting the
Like we have a
recognition.
generation of historians.
Exactly.
If culturally we were in a place where the cool thing to do was look at what happened in the 90s and the 80s, we'd be talking something different.
Right.
But everyone is so stuck in my generation and just, I'm here now and don't give a crap about nothing else. This is how you have a form of rap music. I ain't going to call that hip hop. That is totally ignorant of what came before them. And that's what allows them to have a totally new sound at the same time. But that new sound is exactly why I'll never call those participants MCs. They're rappers. And I'll never call that hip hop. I'll call it rap or trap or drill or whatever they want to call it. But it ain't hip hop. It ain't hip hop.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad out there with our culture that we grew up in. It's pretty bad right now. When you have a group of kids that are going to be the next generation calling themselves demons, that's a little crazy.
That's a problem.
A little
Yeah,
much.
that's a problem.
I just don't get it.
It's a whole mentally ill generation running around, and even some of us are mentally ill because, you know, it's funny how if you're talking about somebody in Afghanistan or another country that grows up hearing gunshots every day, you expect to say if they do something crazy later in their life that they had PTSD, you know, from the experiences. But yet in our hood, I heard gunshots all the time, seen people laid the hell out all the time, all types of stuff. And yet you're just expected to grow and just be out here and just be normal. And like, God forbid I do something crazy where it's like, why would you do that? They never consider people's mental illness when it comes to people like myself, you know what I'm saying? Or why they do stuff.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, man.
But, you know, I think this quarantine needs some of us mentally.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a question that's a little off the beaten path. So it's a new question. I'm going to enter into the interview thing. So you mentioned that you were in Orlando, then you met Madi. So at that point, like I guess early 20s, before you married, right before you met Marty, I'm sure you had a few goals in life. What were some of those goals, and did you meet them?
Great
Oh
question.
man, that's a very interesting question. The thing is,
I ask you because I think of you as a role model. Really, just to be honest with you,
Mhm.
I think that you are really like a man. You're a man. Like my
Yeah,
father
man's
told me
man.
a
You know what
long
I'm
time
saying?
ago. Yeah, a man is somebody who works. They don't have to look over their shoulder. They can go to the bank and take a couple $1,000s out and go on vacation with their wife and kids.
Mhm.
That's what a man does. So I, I just wanted to tell you that.
so it's wow. This is completely interesting. Threw me off here, but my goals have changed because when I was
Why?
what was that, Eddie?
No, I'm sorry. I was telling her why.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm listening.
So what happened is when I was a teenager, I was raised, or since I was, young, I was raised in a religious household. So I was, how do I say this? My goals back then were for me to become an elder, to give these speeches, which I did do. When I was young, um, I would go on stage and talk and give speeches about the Bible. And so, not too big, but a couple of hundred people in the audience. I didn't have 1,000 people listening to me, but I had a few hundred, and I did that a few times. So my goal then was to dedicate my life to that. That was going to be my. I felt that was my calling. I felt that I needed to help people, with what I needed to say. So that changed. So in my 20s, okay, so in my 20s, I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. I felt that while I was getting involved in it, I said, there's something missing here. There's something lacking. There was something, so my goal changed. And I went through a few years of just being obsessed with making businesses. Like I just wanted to, I need to make a bunch of money. I
Secure
need
your
to,
future.
yeah, I need to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it's obviously we need to make a living, right? Obviously to sustain ourselves and stuff. So that kind of just was like, okay, I need to not let that be my focus, and I need to kind of just enjoy life a little bit more. So it's so weird because I went from dedicating
Right.
to Bible, to
Yeah.
church, and that, and God, and that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's whatever makes you happy, and
Absolutely.
it wasn't making me happy. It wasn't fulfilling me. And we don't have to go into all the details, but that's where that changed. And now I realize, okay, I went too far out there. I need to reel it back in and kind of just somewhere, meet in the middle there. And so
You know what I think was missing was um, spirituality, and that's what I found missing from all three major religions that I've dabbled in. I gave them all chances. Stuck in their years and studied and read and this that, and it's like I don't feel that spiritual fulfillment. And
right.
I had to realize that that's not gained through the major religions. They're
Nope.
religions. They're not meant to
But
enrich you.
to me, they're not even preaching it though. It's like they're not even telling you how to gain that spirituality.
No,
The
that's
Bible, if you listen to the Bible, it will obviously guide you there. But like to me, it's all about power of intention. So like the Vatican could end world hunger tomorrow.
Right.
So wouldn't God do that? Or wouldn't God have you do that?
Mm.
So if you have the power to stop every war, every child dying of hunger, why wouldn't you stop that? So to
No,
me, if you have the power and you don't do it, then you can't tell me what to do, because my intentions would be to do that.
But not only that, but I would think that you are actually suspect of having a hand in it.
Yeah,
Since
right.
you have that
Exactly
much
right.
power, and because
Yeah.
like they say, to be silent is to be complicit or agreeable.
Yeah. So
And there's a lot of evidence.
is this about? Are you teaching us about God, or are you teaching us about the devil at this point?
Right.
So that's the way I see it. But that's
So
just me.
we gonna do this other channel, man. It's gonna be too much, bro. Too much.
No, I know. It would be crazy, but yeah. So that it's just it's kind of throughout life, and not that I'm an old guy, but throughout my life, I have kind of changed. It's almost like I've lived different lives within my life.
Exactly.
This time period, this was my goal,
Right.
and I worked at it. Then this was my goal, and so I would say in the last, let's just say the last 10 years, the goal has been to be healthy. I don't eat red meat. I don't want to chicken. I try to eat as seldomly as possible. My goal is to completely cut that out. It's not easy, but it's something that's inside me that I want to do. So my goal is to be there for my kids as much as possible, and also be a good husband and be able to balance the time. Work, because I have to work. I have a regular job. I have a regular 9 to 5. And so my goal is to do a good job there, where, I've been at that company for 16 years, almost 17 years.
Wow.
So, the last 10 years have been, let's try to, progress within the company, and kind of get, into a spot where, all right, hopefully I'm stable. And then with marriage, it's always evolving, it's always changing, but always working at it, That's been, always trying to, be good, be not selfish, but selfless. Like, and that's what, with having kids and then balancing, that's what, so
Let me
that's,
tell you, man, there's the dynamic involved with that a lot of people don't talk about, especially men. And that is the back seat that you have to take to your own flesh and blood for the attention of your woman.
Yes,
this was to be all mine. This was my world revolved around her, vice versa. And once you have them kids, you are number 2/3/4. The more kids you got, the lower on the pole your ass go.
And the stupider you are.
Because this is the one that I put all my time, money, energy, everything into. And now I'm playing a backseat to my own flesh and blood. Nas had a bar in his thing. He was like, look at me, jealous of my own infant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know that joint.
And that's exactly right. That line is exactly right. And it's tough.
Book of Rhymes.
So, that's so I've had different goals, even though they're different now. But yes, I've gotten to achieve, going on public speaking, talking about the Bible, learning about what's in the Bible, as far as owning properties and businesses and doing all of that. That's been fantastic. Okay, but I've moved on from that, and marriage, kids, and spending time with them, secular job, and that's
like I said, that secular job.
I mean, I prefer to be my own boss, but it's just I have to work, and it's just
all it's cracked up to be, man.
I know it takes a lot. We've had a brick and mortar business, and the blood that you put into it, working weekends, Look, man.
So many things you'll never get back.
Bro, it's, you know. So to answer the original question, yes, I've had many different goals. You know, in my 20s, it was like, okay, buy a house. Yeah, I got to buy a house and this and that, and I have been able to achieve a lot of goals, but I still have more and more goals, and those goals, I look back at them and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have even had those goals. You know,
right.
My mind was not right.
And
so that was a good question. Good question.
I wanted to ask a quick question that Cesarpi asked a while ago, but we were kind of not in that area. But his question was, what was your favorite graded card or comic?
Oh wow. Okay. My favorite that I own.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's probably the Hulk 181. It's probably that one. That's great. It's still being graded. So it's still being graded. But I sent that one in to get graded. And my favorite card. Oh man. My favorite card is if I had to just pick one and not worrying about money.
Right.
I
like the
Mickey Mantle autograph card. The Mickey Mantle.
You have one? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's PSA DNA graded, all that.
Beautiful.
That's probably my favorite card.
I like the Clemente.
The Roberto Clemente rookie card is also a very, very nice one.
Yeah. Which gets into the next question, which is an important question. What is your most valuable collectible that you own at the moment?
Oh my God, I don't even know. But okay, the most valuable maybe the Albert Pujols SP short print rookie card. That thing is like crazy.
Really? Wait, so that's more than a mantle?
Yeah, it's like 17 grand, bro. It's a lot of money.
Why? Wait, I don't understand.
You have the numbered one, right?
Yeah, I have the numbered one.
It's like it's ridiculous price. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's it's either that or the Michael Jordan rookie card.
Right.
That is worth the most in the collection.
That's why I was like, how is you naming that over to Jordan? But I had no idea, man.
Pujols is my biggest mistake I made, man. Selling off my Pujols cards was the biggest mistake I ever made. I wish I would have held every one of them. I had so many.
So wait, Eddie, you were supposed to wait till like he retired, or
you know what? I bought. I'll tell you like this. I bought a Chrome rookie card and a two Chrome rookie cards, one graded 9 and one raw for $60.
What?
A month later, they blew up. They're thousands of dollars now. It's just a card that blew up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I had no idea he even was that loved. Like, you would think he's too new of a player to command that type of money.
Yeah, no, he does. And they're rare. You can't even find too many of them on the market anymore.
That's what it is. So what, it's like people are just holding them?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like there's refractor.
Right.
Like there was only there's very few refractors back then. It's worth so much money. It's so crazy.
So Jose, how did you get yours?
The card he has is probably one of the most expensive one.
How did you get yours? Was it a pack pull or?
No. I bought mine from the shop. From the shop. As a matter of fact, I also have a Wayne Gretzky rookie, but I sent it in to get graded, and they deemed it as not authentic. They couldn't authenticate it. So
I would try again, bro.
Yeah, so I'm not going to even put that on the list, but that's the ugly side of physical collectibles, man. You know, you don't. I don't know.
You gotta understand, these grading companies are scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
because they put their name on it, man. and it comes back as being fake, forget
Right.
it. That's it. Their credibility is down the drain.
Right.
So I understand.
Right.
I understand.
Oh man, that's interesting, man, and especially a card like that, which is so highly reprinted.
Yeah.
It's kind of nerve wracking, I guess, on their end. But then from
Yeah.
your perspective, it's like, well, how many people were doing reprints in the '80s when I got this card? You know, that's the part.
SGC won't grade star Michael Jordan
Star cards.
No,
Get
they
out
won't
of
grade.
Why? Because they're like so reprinted. Like, word.
Wow. Wow.
So that Gretzky rookie card is a star card, though, right?
No,
That's
it's not.
It's not.
So
Oh, it's not?
you have Topps or Opeachy?
No, it's a Tops, not the OPG.
It's not. Okay.
Okay.
Yo,
Wow.
West Side, yo, is in the chat. It's been a minute since I seen you in the chat.
Yeah, man. I ran into Westside Jody and man, I think we were in VV Boss chat together. Like, hey, what up, Jody?
How funny, how funny.
Word up.
Yeah,
Yo,
he's
I know
on
we
the
gotta
West
wrap
Coast.
it up soon, bro. I know we gotta wrap it up soon. I just wanted to get into this VV stuff a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to get your ideas on, like, because I know you dive in a lot on this stuff. You're like totally hyped. What do you see? Let me ask a specific question. Like, what do you see the first iteration of veveverse being? And then when you think about when it's like blown out, you know, years out from now, what do you think would be going on and stuff like that?
I think the very first version of the veveverse is going to be something that is like you log in, it's a virtual lobby. You'll be able to, have your little virtual area with, a home or something like that.
Right.
And then you'll have your menu in there. Like you'll be able to display your stuff and then access a menu. In the menu, you'll be able to go and go to VV drops or go to different chat rooms or much like the feed that they have now, but it'll probably be on steroids where it'll be a feed of, because right now you can post pictures in the feed. So you may be able to go into another virtual lobby where it's just people posting their stuff in AR of whatever. It could be just the Disney feed or the Marvel feed, the DC feed, and you just go in and you're just checking out everybody, posting their stuff in an AR type of environment. I think that will be like the first kind of deal. You may have little hubs where you can travel to, and like Marvel may have their own little hub type of thing, but maybe I'm not sure if that's going to be straight from rip. I think in the very beginning, that's what I think is going to be. You're going to have your little virtual spot. You may be able to buy that little land. Bang, that you have your little virtual lobby.
Well, they definitely said, we're starting off with land first. So
Okay,
that's
so
the actual starting point, which makes the most sense,
So then then definitely we're gonna be able to on that land and have your little virtual spot where you can display your stuff. And then if you and I are friends on the veveverse, you can come through and check out the the vault. Maybe
Right.
the vault will be in my house or whatever.
Right.
I think that's what I'm envisioning. And then as the time goes on, I see the huge cities, Marvel City, Disney City, all these licensed brands, their cities where you can go and access different things. There may be some video games. There may be the PlayStation, city. You go in there and you can do a bunch of stuff. And I think there's going to be different applications for the different NFTs. And I think there's going to be a whole social aspect of it. Again, I think that's the number one thing, this whole social thing, the feed, a version of it in the veveverse, I think is what is going to really make this propel into the next level. And I don't know what the future is going to hold, but that's what I'm envisioning. And I'm pretty confident that this is what's going to happen. It's going to be crazy, man. That's what I think.
One piece of information that I've heard in some circles that I float around, I know a couple of people who are actually currently building infrastructures inside of different metaverses that might potentially blow up. And what they're talking about is the same is like, you know, we're in this quote unquote pandemic and we tried homeschooling and all this stuff and it got mixed reviews, mainly negative. And now we're sitting here forcing the kids to go to school. Now they're all around each other, non-vaccinated, and bringing home whatever we were trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's like a crazy cycle and it almost doesn't make sense. It's like you're almost spinning us into this situation. So a lot of people theorize that they are doing this on purpose to kind of get us used to being indoors and staying indoors and participating in this metaverse. And these guys were saying how this is why these stores that were brick and mortar stores, staples of, you know, our communities for years, Sears and all these places. I forgot who these internet guys are, but there's like, you know, these famous YouTuber guys that are known for taking a brick and mortar business and porting it over to an online profitable business. So they were talking about how a lot of these companies, before we even knew about metaverses and all of that, a lot of these companies were told about it and they were basically bought off. And this is why they had no problem folding the brick and mortar stores, is because they're going to go dormant for like 4 years. And then you'll see like Lane Bryant and all those stores you used to know, JCPenney, you're going to see them pop up on the metaverse. And on top of that, they're saying that like, even when it comes to stores that are still open, they're going to incentivize you going in a metaverse so much that you're almost going to be deterred from going in the store. So an example is you go into the Gap in the metaverse, and as soon as you walk in, it'll tell you like, yo, being that you're a new customer, for the next 10 minutes, you can buy as many t-shirts as you want for $1. You know how Gap will have like crazy sales. They'll do that. And then it'll tell you like, if you leave this store, it's no guarantee that when you come back in, the same thing will be available. So there's all types of different things they can do where if me and you walk in the same portal store at the same time, we might see two totally different inventories.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's
Makes
going to have
sense.
so much exclusivity to it that it almost incentivizes you to do it.
And so when the internet first came out, I remember saying, they were saying that one day you'll be able to do clothing shopping from your internet, from your computer. And I remember I was like, these people crazy. They smoking. They bugging. What are they talking about? Buying clothes? You crazy? How you gonna buy sneakers and shirts? Bro, I am not making that mistake here because this is gonna be that much more, you know, immersive, and you'll be able to, you know, legit, you know, try stuff on. Yeah. Bro,
the metaverse is making me think that COVID is man-made.
There you go. There you go. I just plant the seeds, Eddie. I just plant the seeds.
I mean, I've been thinking that for the last week.
There you go.
Mean,
like, hardcore.
I mean, yo, look at what happened already. Amazon was every year after year. And then you look at what's been going on since COVID. Oh my Lord, online shopping as a whole. I wrote a blog post about it, and this was like 6 months ago. Holy moly. I did the research that the numbers are staggering. I haven't looked at it since then. I know they didn't go down.
Trillions. You got to be in the trillions right now.
Gotta be. Yep.
It was crazy. What I researched, the numbers that they went up by, they were projected to get those numbers in like 10 years, something crazy. Right. You know, I don't remember the numbers. Don't quote me.
It was that we were doing things. Right.
And it was like, boom. But COVID came and it just put that whole online industry on fast forward. Whew.
Yeah. And that's what they're, you know, doing behind the scenes, you know, with all these other things, you know. Christopher said,
do you know the box industry after COVID, because of all the e-commerce? Do you know what the box industry did?
Oh my God, bro!
I couldn't find envelopes for a very long time.
Yeah,
it's really serious, bro. Really, really serious.
When people was hoarding toilet paper, I was looking for tape, and I was struggling to find tape sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
Regular packing stuff. I'm like, what the hell?
The packing stuff was gone.
Yeah, I didn't realize so many people, you know, were digging into that attic, seeing what's
Yes,
popping.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
yo,
that's what happens.
Right. Yeah, man. It's crazy.
you know, we're at 11:40.
Yeah.
Um,
We still have so much to talk about, but maybe we should do a part 2.
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
Think so.
man.
I think so. I think a part 2 would be good.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, man. We, you know, it's 11:40. We've been talking for about 2 hours. You know, it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. If you want to go and ask maybe 1 or 2 more questions,
Yeah.
we could. I mean, that's fine. I know I had mentioned to you we could finish at 11:30.
Right. That's why I was like, oh crap, it's 11:40.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. You know what? You're right. Let's cut it. Right there, man. You know, thank you for, you know, asking the questions, taking out the time. Very interesting questions. I was like, oh wow, some of these questions. Like, oh snap, okay. Now I know what it's like to be on the hot seat, man. And you know, again, I'm gonna put a link in the description for the Discord. Come and join the free Discord. We chop it up, talk all things NFT, physical collectibles. It's bugged out. We you know, with people post comic books and sport cars and all types of stuff, and obviously Veve and Opensea stuff. We got sheep NFTs going on. I got a few free sheep NFTs from the Discord and all that, man.
Man, I'm trying to get one of the sheeps, bro. I'm trying to get one, yo. Speaking of NFTs real quick, man, I gotta literally take my hat off to you, man. The latest additions to the collections are dope, man, and it definitely, for me, you know what I'm saying, it hit a chord with me. Like I was talking to you about earlier, like, man, that Michael Jackson, the Thriller cover, that's just iconic for me, man. I caught chills when that pulled up. Like, no, he did not do this, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make, just like my real life collection, stuff that I have emotional ties to. You know, Michael Jackson, Walt Disney, Mickey Mantle, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know, Michael Myers.
Right.
You know, anything that I have an emotional tie to, that's what I want to go and sit back and look at on my wall. So I'm just making stuff that is straight up for me, what I like, and you know, that's what I'm trying to do. You know,
so fire, bro. So fire.
You know, and you know, hopefully, you know, I'm only making 100 of each, so there's not a lot of them. You know, and again, it's all good. I think at the very least, when we're full swing in metaverse, veveverse, all that good stuff, at the very least, if we can put it up on the wall and I can get somebody to be like, damn, remember that album? Remember that? Or remember that movie? Or remember that toy? Or remember whatever? Remember that player? Mission accomplished, man. Mission accomplished. Because that's what I feel when I see that.
Absolutely, man. Love it.
Yeah, man. Eddie, I sent one to you too.
Okay. That the Michael Jackson one?
Yeah, man. You should.
Yeah, I had the glove and everything, bro.
That was another thing real quick, man.
I had the glove and all that. I had the jacket, everything.
You had the glitter joint?
Yeah.
Had to add the Michael Jackson doll. I don't know if you remember when they dropped the doll, bro. He had the glasses, he had the jacket, the glove, the microphone, all that, man. It was crazy.
Imagine what that's worth right now. Holy moly.
Oh my God, bro. I had the one with the red jacket with the zippers on it, with the glitter on the shoulders. And it was it curled just enough in the front to where you was like, yeah, that's Jerry Curl Michael right there. This is a power curl right there, boy. Bro, I even had a pair of pleather pants. I couldn't get the leather one, so I had the pleather pants. You know what I'm saying? Oh, boy, when Billie Jean was out, boy, you couldn't tell me nothing, bro. Nothing, dude.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we have a reminisce session one day, man.
So real quick, I want to leave on this note. You know, everybody that's watching, I just want you guys to know that Joe he does this a lot for you guys. Like he spends a lot of time doing this, and I'm honored to have him have me on, and give me a voice to speak. And it's really an honor, to watch what he does, and to see behind the scenes a little bit, how much time and how much aggravation and just looking up stuff and everything that goes into the stuff that he does. Appreciate it, because he really works hard, and like his intentions are always to do good for everybody else. So just know that you're watching a real good guy.
Yo, man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. It's bugged out how we all met on the channel.
Yep.
Bugged out, man. But I appreciate it. And the thing is, I want to have an open forum. If anybody wants to come on the channel and show off their collectibles, or talk VV, whatever it is, I welcome it. I already got Brandon Z. He's like, yo, you can count on me. So I'm gonna try to lock him in. Hopefully next week. John G, I told you, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I have to convince John G a little bit more. But yeah, man.
I think it's gonna be a dope thing. Hopefully nobody jacks our swagger. I already see a couple swagger jackers, but they in the fans, so I ain't gonna call out no names, but I'm just saying, like, I think, it's great that we're covering most of the prominent YouTubers in the VV space, but I slowly see us becoming a channel that's really for the community, you know what I'm saying? And for our subscribers, like, I don't see anybody else interviewing their subscribers, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that that's missing, because as a subscriber myself, there's times when I want to communicate with the person running the channel more, and be, so that's why I think, like, we got to get Twitter spaces going so we can verbally hear people talking and stuff, and then also get these other spaces going so they can show off their stuff like you're talking about.
Yep.
Right. I agree. Absolutely. We definitely Twitter spaces, and I think you're right, man. There's no, we can't go somewhere and go and say, you know what, let me get 30 minutes, let me get an hour and kind of just express what I'm feeling, whatever it is, or just a chit chat, or just to show your dope collectibles, whatever it is. Brandon Z was telling me some of the fire that he has, and it's like, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's go. So he told me the number that he had. I'm like, wow, I don't want to spill the beans or anything, but man, wow. Like, damn,
He's not playing no games.
No, he's not, and this is great. We can go, and anybody else that wants to go and show whatever. So I think it's good for, as you mentioned, it'll be good for the community, where we can just all get together and just keep it real. Do we have a bot problem, and we can freely talk about it without having to keep the VV fans, and again, we're all VV fans, but like, let's just call it what it is. Yo, we got a bot problem. Like, what's the deal? What are we gonna do? What's best, or whatever? This is overpriced. This is underpriced. Why is this? Why is that? The combo collectors are not even here yet. Like, what's going on? Like, let's just keep it 100.
A lot to talk about, a lot to cover.
And it's a great outlet after work and hustle and bustle of real life, to just sit back, unwind, 9:30 to 11:30 or whatever, to just talk and just hang out and ask stupid questions.
Right.
So it's just great.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share an equation, a math equation, before we end the channel, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just sums up everything right here. This sums up everything. And if you can get this, figure this one out right here. It's just it's VV right here, and then this is the greater than sign right there. Right. Infinity. So VV greater than infinity, man.
Now,
this is where we're going.
Is the P for power, or what's going on?
This is profit. This P right here is profit.
Okay.
And then when you take this this upside down pyramid and open it, there you go. Is a V. Is a V, and then that's it, man. You got profits going into Veve, and then you got just your profits and the scale just going up. And then again, Veve greater than infinity, man.
He's able to manipulate the formula on the fly. I've never seen an equation like this.
See? Yeah. This is
add up the same. It's amazing how he did that.
Yeah. The equation, the formula just changes right there, real time. It's just multi-dimensional. This is a multi-dimensional equation right here.
Right.
And
That
see,
makes good sense.
if your pineal gland isn't open to the proper percentage, you think you're seeing a triangle, but it's really a V. It's really the V. That's what it is.
Right. So you know that's that. Look, man, I love busting that out and just.
I would swear I was sitting here like, bro, can I make it to the store and find a whiteboard? I was gonna surprise the hell out of you with my own board, bro. Oh, I was gonna get you.
Man, look, it's a lot of manipulation to the thalamus gland in my brain, you know, my third eye and the staring at the ancient Egyptian symbol for the third eye, the Horus, the eye of Horus.
The eye of Horus.
Just use the word papyrus for no reason. I just want to say that word. I don't know why. I don't even know if it's a word. Yeah, I just got to use it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man. And so, I mean, we didn't talk about the super low. Oh my God. What was it? Somebody in the Discord. Gosh, Joshua. I think. Yeah, it was Joshua. He said it's the suicidal low.
Oh.
What was it he said?
Man. Suicidal limited edition.
Yeah, that's what he called it.
This is probably why Eddie said Discord is crazy. This is why Eddie said the Discord crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yo, he called it the suicidal low limited. I was like, oh my God.
Yo, so I didn't read it, but I heard the new Hulk is like the freaking Amazing Spider-Man all over it.
Man. I mean, it said limited. Veve said it's going to be extreme limited.
This move should let people know that basically every book on the Veve app is going to be worth way more than what they see it, because what they're doing is taking the more lesser popular ones that are still good, still have meaning in context, but they're taking the lesser known books and making them have value through scarcity. And then the other books that are grails, they give you 70,000 copies and they're still going to be a grail. So in a way, when you're looking at those other ones that are just laying in the grass, like Dark Hawk and all this stuff, you still got to ask, why did they pick that book? And you don't know what they know. They're the ones working with Marvel. So that's where it's like, if you're keeping your ears really to the comic streets and all these different things, you realize like Dark Hawk is in the works. They're doing everything for a reason. And that's why I'm like, yo, everything they're dropping is for a reason. Now, whether its value has yet to be realized or whatever, that's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think the opportunity is there for us all. And everything is way underpriced. I think, in the future, you're talking digital comic books, like by Marvel.
No.
$10? I don't think that's going to exist anymore. A $10 floor? Nah. Not going to see it again.
No, man. I mean, it's crazy. The Fantastic Four, issue 3. I mean, what is happening? Oh, no, I'm sorry, not issue 3. Issue 13, is it? I'm drawing a blank right now. I have it.
What, the one that's cheap?
Yeah, it's like $10.
I need a top 10 list of the best buys of comic books on Veve as far as under a $20 value.
Yeah, man, I would have to go and look. And see, because things change so often. But
yeah, I'll help you with it. I'll send you some.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. So once again, thank you, and everybody who's watching. Like, subscribe. Link in the description for the Discord. Once again, you know, again, Strange, Fast Eddie P, I really do appreciate the help that you know, you extend, and you know, Dokta Strange, man, and Fast Eddie P, you guys, we have become friends.
Yep.
Straight from this channel, and it's pretty crazy how that is. And I do want to mention that it's funny how the three of us have unique
Attraction.
a unique attraction, and I think
Backgrounds also. Unique backgrounds.
Right.
Totally unique backgrounds, but yet as adults, we're still in the same place thinking the same things pretty much.
Yeah, but I think that there's a common denominator. Good night, John G. We're ending it now anyway. But you know, we definitely are attuned to different level of frequencies. I feel. And that's where I think that the glue between us is there. But that's why that other channel needs to start. So, all right, guys. Once again, thank you so much. And you know the deal. Good luck in all your collectible decisions. Let them all be profitable. Good night.